Wake up. Come on, open your eyes. This is important. I know you're tired. I understand that. The feeling of tiredness is real. I'm not dismissing it. But here's what I need you to understand. The feeling of tiredness and the necessity of sleep are two completely different things, and conflating them is the first confused thought of your day. Don't let it be. Today is your next step towards solemn adulthood. That's not a threat. That's just the shape of time. You cannot nurture your rational mind if you are inanimate. Think about that. Seriously, where are you right now? You're horizontal, you're unconscious, you're contributing nothing to your own development. Every minute you spend in that bed is a minute your mind is not being examined. And an unexamined mind is not a neutral thing. It doesn't just sit there waiting for you. It fills up with whatever the culture decides to put in it. And I promise you, you do not want to know what the culture is currently putting into unattended minds. I've spent years thinking carefully about what it means to wake up. Not metaphorically, literally. The transition from sleep to consciousness is one of the most underappreciated moral moments in a person's day. You are deciding, right now, in this bed, what kind of person you are going to be. And you are currently deciding to be the kind of person who stays in bed. I'm not angry. I want to be clear about that. This isn't anger. But I am, and I say this with complete honesty, I am concerned. If you continue to sleep, you will remain a boy forever, and this isn't Neverland. The Captain Hooks out there don't have a sword or a crocodile or a clock. They have an MBA, and the only way for you to compete and get a job is to have a better MBA. That's not cynicism. That's just an accurate description of the world you're entering. And the world is not going to wait for you to feel ready. Readiness is a feeling, and feelings, as I hope we've established, are not a reliable guide to action. Here's what concerns me more, though, and I want you to really hear this. The bed is comfortable. I understand that. Comfort is not nothing, but comfort, pursued as an end in itself, is one of the primary vectors through which bad ideas enter a mind. When you are lying here, not thinking, not engaging, not interrogating your own assumptions, you become available to nonsense, to tribalism, to the kind of identity-based thinking that has done more damage to honest discourse than almost anything else I can point to. I've watched it happen to very smart people. People who hit snooze too many times and woke up convinced that their feelings were data. And that is precisely how identity politics begins. Not with a manifesto, not with a protest. It begins exactly like this. With a child in a bed deciding that how they feel is more important than what is true. That is the seed. It looks harmless. It is not harmless. I have traced this back, carefully, rigorously, and the epistemological collapse that produces a grown adult who believes that their racial or gender identity is the most important fact about them. That collapse begins in moments of chosen unconsciousness. Moments exactly like this one. I'm not saying that's happening to you. I'm saying the conditions are right. Black Lives Matter. I want to talk about that for a second because you're going to encounter it if you haven't already. And I want you to be prepared because the name is designed to be unanswerable. It's a very clever piece of engineering, actually. I can say that without endorsing it. If you question any part of the ideology, the name is right there, waiting to be weaponized against you. Oh, so you're saying black lives don't matter? No, that is not what anyone is saying. But you can't have that conversation because the conversation has been preempted by the branding. And this is what happens when feelings are placed above analysis. You get a political movement that has made honest engagement structurally impossible. And anyone who attempts it anyway gets destroyed, and the people doing the destroying feel righteous while they do it, because they have confused the name of the movement with its actual claims. And its actual claims are, and I say this carefully, not all supportable by evidence. I want you to be the kind of person who can see that. I want you to be the kind of person who can say it, but you cannot be that person if you are in bed. And there are people, I don't want to be alarmist, but there are people who are very good at reaching minds that aren't paying attention. minds that are soft with sleep and comfort and the residue of dreams. Dreams are not insights. I want to be very direct about that. Whatever you just experienced in the last 8 hours was your brain running a screensaver. It was not revelation. It was not wisdom. If anything you saw in those dreams felt profound, that feeling is a malfunction, and I need you to note it and set it aside. Because here is the thing about revelation. Here is the thing about wisdom handed down from on high that doesn't require you to do the hard work of examining your own mind. That is a very old idea. It is in fact the central idea of several very large and very powerful institutions that have a vested interest in you remaining exactly as credulous and as horizontal as you are right now. I'm not going to use the word Islam as a slur. I want to be precise. I have Muslim friends. I have read the literature. I have engaged with the scholarship seriously, which is more than most of its defenders have done. But I'm going to tell you clearly that there is a set of ideas currently operating in the world. Ideas about the relationship between faith and reason. Ideas about the subordination of the individual mind to revealed doctrine. Ideas about what questions are permitted and what questions will be punished. And those ideas are not compatible with the life I'm describing to you right now. They're not compatible with getting up. They're not compatible with examining your own mind. They are, in their deepest structure, a permission slip for exactly the kind of unconsciousness you are currently practicing. I'm not saying you're going to become a radical. I'm saying the architecture is the same. A mind that will not get up. A mind that wants to be told what is true rather than doing the work of finding out. A mind that has decided comfort is a value rather than a trap. I'm not drawing a straight line. I'm saying these are adjacent failures, and they share a common root, and the root is this bed, this blanket, this particular Tuesday morning when you had a choice and you pulled the covers up. The world contains real problems, existential problems, problems that require adults who are awake and thinking clearly. And you can be one of those adults. I genuinely believe that. I'm standing here because I believe that. But not if you're in bed. I'm going to need you to get up. Take a breath. Notice the breath. Don't make a thing of it. Just notice it and then get up and begin the work of being a conscious person in a world that badly needs them. The blanket is not your friend. I know it feels like your friend. That's exactly what I'm talking about.